Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm. We have a very special guest, Brittnie Books. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm great, man. I mean, it's good to talk to you. I know you had like a recent injury happen. I just wanted to check in with you and just talk about your career in general. I mean, you still have a lot going on and whatnot, but can we get like an update on the injury? Like what exactly happened?
Yeah, so on Saturday, I was in Minnesota and I was wrestling Kylie Rae and I jumped off the top for a crossbody, but like my leg kind of stayed straight. So as I was coming down, the rest of my body was still like coming down and my foot was like at the canvas already. So like when I like went down, I heard like three pops and like instantly I could like not walk or anything. So then I had to fly back to Vegas because I was supposed to do something in Vegas. And then I had to drive back to Phoenix the next day but that was like a lot of time just like in the car and in the plane to keep my legs stiff,
Oof.
which sucked. But then I went to the doctor and they didn't really have anything for me. Like, so they just had me get an MRI and it was like such a mess. But I finally ended up getting an MRI this morning. So, and they said that since it was like a stat case, they'll give me the results either today or tomorrow. So I'm hoping, I get those as soon as possible because I am supposed to be at Dreamwave tomorrow. So it's definitely like crushing because I was super excited for the cage match with Maggie Lee.
Yeah. So are you still gonna make it to the show, like regardless of like injury or not? Like maybe it's not wrestling, still like appearing at the show?
Yeah, I'll still be at the show for sure, but I don't know how I'm gonna be feeling. It's definitely getting a lot better. Like on Saturday, Sunday, I couldn't walk at all. I couldn't like go up and down stairs. Like I was struggling with everything. And like now it's a lot better and like I've been icing and elevating it and like keeping a compression sleeve on it and stuff. So it's definitely getting better than what it was when I first heard it.
Man, yeah, I saw your vlog actually, and you were talking about it. Oh man, this is like soul crushing to watch this. Like, so I know you tore your ACL at one point, so this is the other leg, correct?
Yeah, it's my other knee. I tore my right ACL like 2 years ago at training and I like didn't know it was torn. This time is so different. Like instantly when it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, I bet I tore something. But last time I didn't know if anything was wrong. So like I still ended up wrestling another match on it when it was torn. And like then in the match, I was like, oh yeah, this just doesn't feel right. But this time, like I can't walk, I can't bend, I can't straighten it, which is just so different. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe it's something, maybe it's like a different tendon. Maybe it's just, I really hope it's just a sprain and I just need to be out for a couple weeks. Like that's the real goal.
Yeah, no, hopefully it's like minor as possible. Maybe like take a week off, a little break if you know,
Yeah.
man. Yikes, yikes. So like I saw you were in the gym as well. So like do you have like some mobility back that you can at least like maybe do like normal people things at least?
Yeah, I can like I went to the gym on Monday and like Tuesday and then what's today? I guess no wait, I went on Tuesday and Wednesday and then today's Thursday. I don't even know anymore. But
It's
yeah,
Friday.
I went. It's oh my God, today's Friday. So I have been going like every day since Tuesday. But like it's definitely harder because like I'm walking with a limp and it's hard to like grab free weights and like walk with them to a bench. So I try to stick to like cables and like machines, obviously only on upper body though. I definitely cannot train legs at all.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine trying to do a leg press. Yeah, that wouldn't probably wouldn't go
Uh,
well, honestly. Yeah, it's
uh-uh.
smart on you, man. But I guess even before like the injury and whatnot, you have like a lot going on in like your wrestling career. I mean, you're still the Dreamwave Women's Champion. That
Hmm.
promotion's taking off right now. Like I've seeing like how far they come in such a short amount of time is crazy. But what's been like your experience working for Dreamwave so far?
Dreamer's amazing. I'm literally wearing this shirt right now. Um,
Cheap plug,
they
I like
just
it.
took they just took such a chance on me and Zeta. Like we're both very young and like giving us the first ever women's main event, the first ever women's championship. We were like the cover on IWTV, and it was honestly one of the best matches I feel I've had. It was so amazing and just like I literally just randomly shot the Instagram page a DM one day like hi, I'm Brittnie Brooks. I'm from Arizona. Like, I'd love to come work with you guys, expecting nothing. Cause, like, most promotions, especially like promotions that book like upper talent that are like already on AEW and TNA and stuff like that, they don't really like book people that are like just starting out. Like, I obviously haven't like been just starting out, but like I haven't really been to those stages yet. And they responded like right away, and I was so shocked. And I was gonna do a show, but I had a like the first date they gave me was actually like last February, but I already had a show. So I was like, darn it. And then like I wasn't available till like their August show. So I haven't even been at Dreamwave for a year yet. And like they've already put such a big responsibility on me and like big trust in me. And that means like everything to me. And it's always like there will always be another, but there'll never be a first ever.
Yeah,
So that's like really special.
that's massive, man. I mean, like the first time I heard about Dreamwave was like you and Zeta going at it for the title. So I feel like you guys kind of put them on the map. I mean, I'm sure they were around and stuff beforehand, but as someone on like the East Coast of America, like I just never heard. I think they're based in Chicago, right?
Yeah, they're in LaSalle, which is like an hour from Chicago. So we fly into Chicago.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. It's like even with that, it's like I just had never heard of that company before. So like seeing you guys put on such a dope match. I remember seeing it on YouTube and just sending it to all my friends, like, bro, you need to watch this. This is fire. I said,
Oh, thank
bro, it was
you.
crazy good, man. But like, do you feel like Zeta's kind of like your biggest rival right now on Independence?
Yeah, I think like we're just so similar. Like we both, came up being super huge WWE fans and like, she's the blonde-haired bougie girl from the East Coast. I'm like the blonde hair happy girl from the West Coast. So it's like, and she's just such a good like bully and she's so just mean to her core. But like I don't know if you saw, we had a triple threat. It was me versus Maggie versus Zeta at the anniversary show. And at the end, like we kind of, I guess, made up or whatever. Like we kind of just, hugged it out because now she's killing it in Japan. And I'm like so freaking happy for her. And I just like see her all the time on Instagram. And I'm like, bro, I miss you. Like, go. So like tomorrow I leave for Dreamwave. And I'm just like, just thinking it's not going to be the same because Zeta and Blake are not going to be there. Blake was the guy that was like wrapping her to the ring. And he's the best too. Like, so I'm like really sad that they're not going to be there. Shockingly, I know like she's so rude to me, but I'm kind of really gonna miss him.
Could you see you guys like teaming up together eventually? It's like a tag team.
I mean, if she stops just like being rude and snarky and mean to everybody, then yeah.
That's fair. That's fair, man. But like, I remember seeing you at WrestleMania weekend. And yeah, I know you had a lot of signings, and you were wrestling as well that weekend, I believe. Um,
I didn't end up having
really?
any matches, but I did WrestleCon and then I did WrestleMania, so that was really cool.
Okay. Did you go to WrestleMania just as a fan, or are you like working WrestleMania like
I
backstage?
was working it, which is like insane to even say. I was just like, how am I here right now?
Oh man, how was that kind of experience? Like, what did you guys do? It's like I guess like independent talent being back there.
They had us like as extras if they needed help with like certain things, but they kind of just like kept us in catering. So we kind of just chilled the whole time and it was like really, really fun. And we got to talk to people and see people. And like that was like the big viewing area because they didn't really have like another viewing area. So like we got to hang out in the warmth of catering. And then there was a couple times too where like I walked out and they're like, just make sure you like walk out there and experience like the people and the feeling. And I did that and it was like insane. Like I specifically watched because I was at night one, but I specifically went out and watched The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth, and that was just like crazy. Like to just look around and see like one day I really want to be performing in front of like all these people, and like also just feeling that it's attainable. Like the idea that I got invited specifically to come to the show, like it's so surreal to me because like literally just a few years ago I was like, oh my gosh, like thinking how like I could never go to WrestleMania because they're always so far away and so expensive. And now, like I'm getting paid to be at a WrestleMania. It's just insane. Like that
Did,
was really cool.
did you get to meet like any like bigger stars in WWE? Like, did you get like pick their brain at all?
No, everyone was like super busy as expected because it's like their Super Bowl. So like they're all just running around and doing a ton of stuff and like preparing and everything. And like I was trying to like pick brains if I get a second, but I also don't want to be like that annoying girl, trying to like talk to people. So
That's fair. That's fair. Who in like the wrestling business so far for you, maybe outside of WrestleMania weekend, have been like the biggest like help per se, as far as like picking their brain and figuring out just how you can like move around the wrestling business and like grow your brand?
oh, there's so many people because there's so many people that like know different things and are like great for everything. Like when I was like first starting out, I was talking to like everybody I could. Now it's like, I'm starting to like I also like trying and experimenting things on my own too. Specific names. Oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. So somebody who like I don't really get to talk to very directly, but like I do like watch his YouTube videos and they help a lot, is Matt Cardona. Like he is like the merch king. Like he knows what to do. And he posted a video that I literally watched on like a plane, and I was like, oh, this is so smart. And like a lot of the stuff was stuff I already do, like, have t-shirts, have 8x10s, have like just all the merch. And so like I love his like marketing and money side. That like a lot of people, I think, as indie wrestlers, they're like, oh well, I'm not like a name, so I won't sell a lot of merch. Like, no, you dictate how much merch you sell, and you dictate, how much money you can walk out with, because we obviously get paid to be there, but like it's a drastic difference depending on if you have a good performance and you make people believe in you, so then you have the ability to sell more merch. So that's been really helpful. But there's just like so many people that like I love to just ask for advice and can always help.
Yeah, of course. No, I think I actually saw the video you're talking about Matt Cardona made, and like that guy's he's amazing at what he does. Like what he's been doing for independent scene and just whatnot, like it's crazy. But like as someone that's like coming up on the indies currently, not someone that maybe came from like a bigger company, how hard is it trying to like get your name out there as far as like building your own brand without having to be like a former like WWE or AEW star?
It's hard because I feel like, I'm messaging these companies and I'm like, hi, like introducing who I am. And they're like, well, why would I fly this girl out who's like not going to necessarily sell any tickets? Like, why would we bring her out when we could just pay a little bit extra, pay the fee of that person plus a flight? So it's kind of hard because, especially to like travel out, like it's a lot of, sometimes having to buy your own flights and like, figure stuff out on your own. But I always try to just like be honest and upfront with all these companies. Like, hey, like I'm gonna need a flight, I'm gonna need a hotel. Like, I understand though if it's like not something you guys can have in your budget, but it's definitely hard. I have very good placement. I mean, I think the best place probably to be for an independent wrestler is the Midwest, because everything is just so close. And being in Arizona, I'm like pretty far away, but I at least have like, California, LA area who runs like quite a bit of shows, and then Las Vegas, FSW. So that's been very helpful because FSW especially like streams, and they've also taken like a lot of chances on me and like putting me as, one of the top females on their roster. So being able to like be there and get that stream, like, of, because they're on Fight TV. Like, and a lot of people watch FSW because of all the huge names that have come from there. So that's honestly like something I really appreciate, is them taking a chance on me too.
Yeah, certainly. And like you wrestled for a lot of like big independents, like FSW, like you just said, I think Beyond, the Wrestling
Mm.
Open, GCW. How do you get to that point where you're now like on these bigger scale like independent shows? Because like I feel like some people forget there's like the smaller indies and then there's like the bigger indies like GCW and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. GCW, I think, was just a happenstance of them coming to Arizona, because they always try to like book local talent. And like the second it got announced, I sent Brett a DM. He definitely didn't see it for like a few weeks. And then randomly he somehow saw it, which I was never expecting him to see it. And like, and then that worked out. And then sadly, I was supposed to do it on Sunday again because they're coming back to Phoenix, and I was supposed to wrestle Billy Starks. And like, I just genuinely don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. And I'm super sad about it and super crushed. But I think everything will happen in time. And WrestleMania coming to Vegas next year, I'm gonna try to like really run up WrestleMania weekend next year. So
Definitely, man. I mean, like I think regardless of what happens, like with the injury and whatnot, I mean everything happens for a reason, even though it's not the things you always want exactly. But I think it all will work out for you down the line, of course. Is your goal to work for like the WWE, or is it like a certain company you're looking for?
yeah, WWE is like pretty much the goal, because I think that all the companies are great, like TNA and AEW, but like to me WWE is like the most like, the reason why I wrestle is because I want to inspire people the way that like I was inspired by people, the way like John Cena and the Bella Twins inspired me. And the best way to do that, to reach the most people, is through WWE. And like everything that they do is very like, I like, it's similar but different. Like it's just, I think, just another level. Like it's insane, and that's definitely for sure the place that I want to go. And like everybody's always like, "Oh, well, you're young, like you have time." But like I think in the mindset, if I keep thinking, "Oh, I'm young, I have time," I'm never gonna, one day I'm gonna run out of time, and then I'll be like, "Oh, I have time. Oh, wait, I don't." So I always want to make sure that I'm always on myself to be like, "Oh, like." I need to make it there. Like every day I wake up, I'm gonna do something that will get me closer to getting a tryout and get me more prepared for something like that. Like that was my goal this year, to get a tryout. And depending on how this serious this injury is, if it's like something I need surgery for, then sadly I think I'll have to like let that goal a little bit loose. But if it's just a little bump in the road and I can come back soon, like that's my goal. And then I'm gonna still be trying to get a tryout this year.
I think it's as long as like everything goes well with the injury, like I think it's more than possible. I feel like out of all the female independent talent, you're probably up there. You're in the upper echelon up there. So I think it's more than possible that that will happen when it's supposed to, for sure. Who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up? I know you just mentioned John Cena, but who else?
Yes, like now I kind of watch a lot of Shawn Michaels because when I was a kid, like I would literally just watch Raw and SmackDown. Like I didn't watch any old stuff, I didn't watch any indie stuff. Like I didn't know about anything, so I would literally just watch what was on my TV. But like recently, I've been watching a lot of Shawn Michaels because I love the way that he wrestles. I loved Becky Lynch as a kid and Sasha Banks. Literally, there's so many like Dolph Ziggler, which is crazy because like Nick Nevis is on the Indies now, and I'll like bump into him at shows and I'm just like, that's so wild. Like I used to like be obsessed with him. And yeah, like AJ Lee, I also loved her. And when I first started wrestling, I had like the AJ Lee shoes for like my first few matches until I got like regular boots. But yeah, it was like I just like all these people just inspired me so much. And there's so many of their little things that I try to take with me and bring to like Brittnie Brooks, you know?
For sure. Like when you look at like your move set in the ring, because like again, like you say, like Cena and the Bellows are some of your favorites, but I feel like your move set is like a lot more respectfully crisp than how they might wrestle. Who do you think like your move set is like based off of?
Honestly, my moveset is solely based off, oh, let me try this. Like, I watch a ton of matches and like screen record things, and I'm like, oh, this will be cool. And literally, I do the slingshot elbow drop.
Yeah.
And that was just because my coach was like, hey, we're going to do like Eddie Guerrero helos. And then he was like, oh, what if you try like with an elbow drop? And then I just kept hitting the elbow drop, and like no one else in the class was doing it. And he's like, why don't you do it? And so I just started doing it like super random. And then one day I was just watching like I always watch the WWE like move sets from like the video games. Like I'll just watch someone scroll through the video game move sets. And then one day I found like the snapmare driver and I was like, oh, and I didn't even realize that that was like LA Knight's finisher, but I like I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to like steal his move. But yeah, and then my finisher is like the Eye of the Hurricane, but I just like one day another thing my coach was like, oh yeah, why don't you try like an inverted DDT? So when I first started doing it, it was literally just a hook behind the head and then just fall straight back. And then he was like, oh, just throw an elbow over it. So like my first few matches, I did it with like just fall straight back. And then I was like, oh, let me throw the elbow over. And like I didn't even know that it was the Eye of the Hurricane. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much more sense now.
I didn't even know the name of that move, honestly. You just educated me a whole bunch. Wow. That's a good name for a move. Who do you feel like has the best like elbow drop in pro wrestling right now?
Oh, right now, I love Kyrie Sanes. Like the way she throws her body up is crazy. I'm like, how does she get that much yeet on it?
No, she definitely like throws herself at it. Like it's crazy. Like I fully agree with you, man. As far as like your training, how long did it take you to train from like no experience to having like your first ever match?
Ooh, okay. I started training when I was like 14 years old.
Whoa.
So, and it was like a kids class. So, like, they just had us run the ropes and like take a few bumps, but it was nothing serious at all. Like, it wasn't consistent to like, we do something one week and then we wouldn't work on it for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then we come back and be like, I don't remember how to do that. Do you guys? And everyone's like, no. And I'm just like, all right. So yeah. And then I started like grown up training, like grown up training with like the normal people when I was probably like 15. So like about I think it was like 8 months of just doing the kids class. And then I started doing the adult class. And then I had my very first match in January 2020, which I would have been 15. So I think it was less than a year, I want to say. But
Wow.
I don't know if I was fully ready for that first match. And then like it sucks because COVID shut everything down. So then
Yeah.
I literally didn't get to wrestle a match until like the end of that year of 2020. And I had a couple and then, did a few matches in 2021 and tore my ACL. And I was like, no. So it's just been like this is honestly like my first full year of wrestling. and it's been like so much fun, and like it's just been wild to think like, just like 2 years ago I was like on my bed, all sad because I was seeing like all this wrestling and I couldn't be a part of it, and now I'm just like, traveling every single weekend and like doing what I love. It's so crazy.
Oh man, like, do you remember like the first time you took a bump? Like, what did that feel like? You said you were 14, right? So what did it feel like?
Yeah. I honestly like don't remember. I always did jujitsu as a kid, so like I was prepared to like, fall on the ground, but the jujitsu mats are definitely a lot more padded, at least at the gym that I went to. So like it was definitely like the wrestling was very different, and I just remember like walking in that day and being like, "Oh my God, like this is," because my whole life I was always like, "Oh, like I wonder if I can go to this jujitsu school and they'll have wrestling," and then on the website it'll say wrestling, and then it's not the wrestling that I'm talking about. And like when I walked in the building, I was like, this is like real wrestling. Like this is the wrestling that I've been trying to find my entire life. What? But yeah, taking a bump was definitely just like it hurt, but it wasn't like as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. Like, and also, you won your first championship at like 16 years old, right?
Yeah, it
No,
was the
so
Arizona Wrestling Federation Women's Championship, and I'm the youngest ever. Still holding that record, by the way.
you're still the champion?
Oh no, still holding the record of the
Oh,
youngest.
I didn't think anyone younger was gonna win it. Honestly, that's 16-year-old is really low. What was like the reaction like once you won that title? Like, I'm assuming you have to go to school the next day. Like, do you walk around with the championship?
No, not as like high. What was I, middle school or high school? Probably high school. High school?
Yeah, high school, right?
No, like I didn't bring it. I can't even remember what grade I was in at that point.
16 has to be like 10th grade, something like that.
Yeah. And was COVID still happening? Maybe COVID was still happening.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't remember.
Oh man,
I
that
don't know. Cause yeah, my whole sophomore year, I wasn't at school.
okay.
So yeah, no, I don't even think I got to go to school.
Geez, well, I mean, whole pandemic, maybe it's fun for that reason. But what was the reaction to you winning that title at 16 then? Since like you still
People
are.
were like, people were not thinking that I was 16. Like I remember posting online and people were like, "You're 16." Like people are still shocked a lot of times that I'm 19. Like they're like, "Oh my God, I thought you were in your 20s." Because like some people think it's like disrespectful to ask a woman her age. I don't really care. Like I'm just like, yeah, some people are like shocked when like every year for my birthday, I'll like post a picture with the balloons. People are like, "I did not know you were that young." And I was like, yeah, I guess like I don't know. I'm doing like a grown-up sport super young in my life, so
Yeah, I see why people say you have a lot of time and whatnot, but no, I respect the idea that you're still trying to get to WWE like as soon as possible. I respect that a lot, man. Who are some like your dream opponents that like you would like to face?
ooh, definitely Mercedes Monet. I don't know if she'll go back to WWE at some point. That would be lit. Even just like I know she's probably not doing like indies right now, but like even with um even with her being like on AEW and then booking a lot of like independent wrestlers on AEW, I'm like, you never know, there might be a chance. I would love to wrestle Mercedes. Definitely Charlotte Flair, like, I think she's the best to like ever do it. Jordan Grace too. Like Jordan Grace is literally insane. Like she's so what I want to be. Like she's so good in the ring. Her body looks incredible. She's great on the mic. Like she just has such a star power. And I'm like, that's what I want to be. Like I want to get to, her level. And then like, oh, I'm trying to think. Oh.
There's a lot of great talent out there. It really could be anyone.
Yeah. There was like I had like an indie when I started the year. I was like, oh, these are all the girls in the indies that I want to wrestle this
Yeah.
year. And like Kylie Rae was definitely one of them. I'm sad that the match like, ended how it did. And what can I think right now? There's literally so many things. I was like,
Oh, boss.
I definitely want to have a rematch with Brooke Havoc. Because I love Brooke. Um, and then Megan Bain, she seems
Yeah.
super cool. Like her whole just like aura is so cool to me.
Yeah.
I wrestled Steph Delander this year, which was like really cool because she was definitely on my list. Zaya Brookside, I would love to wrestle too. And yeah, that's like I guess the majority of them. I definitely have more, but I just can't think right now.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I'm sure they'll all happen eventually, so no need to worry about that. But how did you create like your character, like Brittnie Brooks? Like, who is Brittnie Brooks as a character?
Oh goodness. This is such a hard question because I should know the answer to this. I think Brittany Brooks is just like a super positive, upbeat underdog. Like she always wants to like go out there and like have a good time, but also, once that bell rings, like she wants to win, not at all costs, but like, she wants to win and she wants to win the right way. And I just think like just always coming out with a smile on my face and just inspiring as many people as possible, like nothing compares to like when I hit the curtain and all these like little girls are screaming for me. And I'm like really sad to think tomorrow, like, you know, I am gonna have to go out there and, talk about how I probably can't wrestle for a little. And I just like I know that there's like a ton of little girls that sit right in the aisleway of Dreamwave. And yeah, there was the anniversary show, we did this really cute thing. So I had these like rally towels for merch and people weren't really buying them. So I was like, I have extras. Like, what if we pulled like five little girls from the crowd and we gave them glasses and the little rally towels. And like my whole thing was like John Cena WrestleMania entrance. You know how like everyone was standing in the line. So we had them all like standing in the line, shaking the rally towel. Literally the cutest thing ever. And I just think of that on such a grander scale, like that can be so incredible. And like that's why I really want to get there.
Oh man, yo, I'm excited for your future, man. I mean, barred this injury, of course, whenever that the comeback is, I'm very excited for it. Dude, where can I find you on like social media and like your pro wrestling tee so they still can like support you during this time?
Yes, so I'm on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you look up Brittany Brooks, I have like 7 designs. Like I have a lot of merch designs up there. My Instagram is the Brittany Brooks, TikTok the Brittany Brooks, Twitter or X is Brittany Brooks. Yeah, just like if you type in Brittany Brooks, it'll pop up in some nature.
There it is. Yo, Brittany, I appreciate you coming on today, and I'm sure everyone's gonna go to that link, of course, and buy the merchandise, buy the photos that's
Yeah.
available, run up the numbers, of course. But Brittany, thank you so much for your time. Guys, my name's Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. Hey.